Meme no beat, esquece.
Good morning, everyone. We're in Bird Park this morning. My daughter's on the other side of the street. I dropped her off for her private tennis lessons. So while I drop her off, I just come over here at times and just walk until her tennis lesson is over with. But something this morning I wanted to talk to you all about, to share with you all. We had a gentleman call us about a dryer. The dryer had went out and he wanted us to deliver it to him. And so when I got over there with the delivery, they were a young couple and we got to talking, and he was telling me that the landlord has in the lease that if any appliances go bad, that it's up to them to replace them. It no longer falls on the landlord. And that's why he got to talking to me about, in 3 years, we're gonna go ahead and try to buy a house. And I asked him, I said, well, why would y'all wait for 3 years? He said, well, really, by then, we just wanna wait the 3 years. So I told him, I said, well, you do know that you can start making preparations now and find out what's on your credit and find out what you have to do, and also save up money, and probably within a year you'll be ready to purchase a house, because the longer you wait, the longer it's going to take you to pay for that house, and the older that you get. And sometimes people say they'll wait 3 years and turn around before they know it, it'll be 10 years that pass. I remember we went in there to move a man. He said the house was being sold, and he told us that he lived there for 28 years. And I thought that he was the one selling the house. And he said, no. He said, I've been renting this house for 28 years. Now, I didn't want to say to him, but I said it to myself. Actually, you bought the house. And what you basically did was you brought the house and you went to the landlord house, knocked on the door and say, here go the keys. I just brought you a house. Basically, I mean, to be honest with you, that's the way it is. And not trying to offend anybody or either be arrogant or anything like that. But people really don't know our story. Me and my wife, when I got with her, she went on and purchased a house, and she got the mortgage that she got. It had to be refinanced in 2 years, which was kind of like a setup, because most people now you get a 30-year fixed rate, and hers was only 2 years. So after the 2 years, things had changed, and the mortgage went up from $1,000 a month, because that's what I was paying back then. My job was to pay the mortgage, and I paid the mortgage every month. And the mortgage went from $1,000 one month to $1,700 the following month. That's what the mortgage was. And my wife told me, she said, listen, she said, don't pay another mortgage payment. She said, because we're going to get out of here. And she went to her mother and asked her mother, hey, this is what's going on, and I don't want to put myself outside anything, because I'm not paying them people anymore, and I want to move back with you. So, of course, her mother said okay for both of us to move there, which was a wonderful woman. I mean, she welcomed us with open arms. So we moved in with her, and I remember I sit down with my wife, and I told her, I said, now listen, I say, this is what we're gonna do, because I don't plan on planting my feet here. I say, I love your mother, and I thank her with the bottom of my heart for everything that she's doing for us. I said, but this is what we're gonna do. I say, no more eating out. I said, no more going to the movies. I said, when we go to work, we're gonna pack our lunch. We're never gonna eat out until we find our own place. And so that's what we started doing. We started saving up money. It was close to income tax time. We cashed our income tax check, got the money, and we put every dime along with the money that we were saving up. Now, we were saving up money every time we got paid. We were saving up money, and I don't know why we didn't have our money inside the bank. We had it downstairs in the basement at her mother's house. Every time I got paid, because I got paid every 2 weeks, she got paid every 2 weeks, but our weeks was separate. So when she got paid, she had money that she added to it, and when I got paid, I had money that I added to it. So I think about 3 months, I want to say about 3 months of us doing this, not eating out, not going to the movies, strictly going to work, coming back, parking the car, and taking our lunch to work. Most of the time, my mother-in-law, she'll do the cooking for us, but we won't live in there for free. We paid her rent just like we was anywhere else. We paid her the regular rent that we'll pay anywhere else. So after 3 months, I think we had saved up about $10,000 because, you know, we also added our income tax check in there too. We didn't spend a dime of that. So we started figuring out, okay, now what we're gonna do, and came up with the idea about buying a trailer, because if you buy a trailer, your lot fee is not that much. So that's what we started doing. We started going around looking for trailers, and we went to this one particular person in Kings and Queen County. I seen a trailer online, so he wanted $12,000 for it. But mind you, we only had $10,000, but I could not spend it all, because even if we buy a trailer, we still have to pay somebody to have it moved and set up. So we went there, we looked at the trailer. The man, we liked it. So I called him to the side and I say, sir, I said, I have $8,000. He responded to me, I want $12,000, and I'm standing on that. And I said, okay. I said, but I tell you what, sir. I said, do you mind if I write my name and number on a piece of paper and I give it to you, and you, if you happen to change your mind, you give me a call? He said, well, I mean, I don't know why you get it to me. He said, I'll take it, but I'm standing on 12,000. I said, okay. So we went on and left, went back home to my mother-in-law's house. I went back online, started looking somewhere else. And I think it was like 3 weeks later, I had a phone call. And I said, hello? And the man on the other end said, this Arthur? I said, yes. He said, man, that piece of paper you gave me, I've been searching everywhere for it. He said, if you still got that $8,000, I'll take it. He said, but there's one catch to it. He said, the people gave me, who's buying the land, they want the trailer off it. They don't want anything on the land. And I have to have the trailer off. He said, but they only gave me 60 days. And so far, trying to find your number and find you, I already used up a month. So if you can have this trailer off in 30 days, I'll take the 8,000. I say, sir, we can do that. Okay, so what I had to do, I went to the rent people that we was gonna rent the lot from in the trailer park, because they had to approve of the trailer. They don't want any old trailer coming there, you know, looking bad on the property. So we set up a time and all of us went up there. It was my wife, mother-in-law, the rent lady, and the maintenance man. And they went up there, they inspected the trailer. They say, okay, the trailer will work. And also I had to also be approved as well. So they say, well, your credit came back good and you're approved. And so we set the ball in motion. He called me and he told me, he said, and when you come, I want you to bring a cashier's check. I said, okay. I said, that's fine. I said, I'll take the cash that I have and go and get a cashier check. He said, no. He said, bring the cash. He said, that's better. So I took the 8,000 cash up there. I gave him the $8,000. He gave me the keys and the title. And our rent was our lot fee. The trailer was paid for. Our lot fee was $300. After we had Brooke, because Brooke was born while we was living in the trailer, it went up $50. So that was $350 that we had to pay. So we got the trailer. The guy called himself setting it up, which he got it there, but he once he put it down and threw a couple of bricks Sunday, he left me hanging. But God is good. So I had to get uh, permits because you just can't bring a trailer in and move on in it. You have to get permits to make sure that it's safe. So I went and got the permits. Um, I pulled all the permits and they started giving to me to stick on the door, but I didn't really know how to set anything up. I was basically kind of winging it. But the good thing about it, the time that I was moving the trailer in, it was some people beside me and people in front of me that purchased a brand new trailer, and they was making payments on their trailer, sure. And they had professional people come out and do all the work. So when the inspector came out and told me that I put the bricks under the foundation wrong, he said, man, this ain't gonna work. He said, a storm come by, this thing gonna fall over. I got in my feelings, but he explained it to me and he showed me. And I said, he gave me a piece of paper and I looked at everybody else's. I said, you're right. So I noticed that you had to, instead of having one brick stacked straight up, you had to have two cinder blocks side by side, and you have to turn them in this different direction as they go up. So I went on and did that, and it passed inspection. So the next thing that they did when they came out was the steps, but I didn't know how to do the steps. But the professional people that was there doing the steps on the other one, what they did, everything that they did and they left at the end of the day, I went over there and seen what they did. I took the measurements. I looked at the wood that they used. I looked at everything. I even drew it all down. And I did exactly what they did. And that's how I built our steps. And the inspector came out there and said, boy, you did really good. And so everything was completed. We moved in. We stayed in there for 4 years. And one of our neighbors named Felix that moved on the other side, he started coming over the house telling me, Arthur, you can buy a house. He said, because the house is not all that expensive, and plus, why stay here when we can get our kids a house and some land? So my wife was getting upset that he was coming over the house telling me that, because she was saying, listen, we only paying $300 or $350 a month. Why in the world would we go out there paying money when we paying this right here? You ain't gonna pay this nowhere. So, but I'm still listening to him. And I ain't really trying to, because he's telling me this every day and showing me on the computer. But I wasn't really going out there pro se looking, even though he was telling me that. So I was also on the side, my job that I had, delivery driver, I was also cutting grass on the side. And some of the equipment that I had, I was keeping it over at my mother-in-law's house in the backyard. So I was going over there one day with my truck and trailer, and I went to the end of the street to turn around instead of going in the yard, because with the trailer it'd be easier for me to turn in the yard. So I seen this sign that they said that the house for sale. I said, shoot. I said, let me call them. I said, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. I said, what I got to lose? So I called the lady. The lady said, yeah, we got the house for sale. She said, and the thing about it is a foreclosure. Not only are we selling it, but inside our corporation, we also have a finance company as well. So if you want, I can put you in and we can do everything in-house. You don't have to go anywhere and find somebody to give you the money. I said, okay, that's fine. I gave all my information. She got back with me, I think it was less than a week. She said, you've been approved. And she said, okay, so we can go from there. She said also, you know, the house need to be fixed up. So I'm gonna get you some extra money inside your loan so you can fix up the house as well. So That's how we end up getting the house. And the trailer, even though I brought the trailer for $8,000, we sold the trailer for $17,500 after 4 years. We lived in it for 4 years. And so I tell this story because it's not really where a person is at. It's just really where a person stays at. Because I could have gotten complacent, because my wife, if it was up to her, we would have stayed there until her mother passed away. So, but I knew that with commitment, and I mean staying fast on what that I knew that we can do. If it wasn't for that, we would have still been where we was at. So I say the same thing to everybody. Just because you fail, or your age, or whatever the case may be, you don't have to stay there. Because when you're renting, leasing, house, apartment, condo, all that stuff may look good, big house, but at the end of the day, all the money that you put into that, you don't have any reward. The day that you miss a payment or get behind, they getting you out of there. I don't care whether or not you got a testimony saying, I got the greatest landlord. At the end of the day, it's being passed to his children, and so on and so on. And basically, that's how it go. Not trying to be funny. And it doesn't mean how old that you are. It has nothing to do with that. If you work on a job and you're able to pay your rent, then you're able to pay a mortgage, because the mortgage is always going to be cheaper than the rent. So that means that the rent that you're paying the landlord enough that he can put some money in his pocket and also make a payment to pay the house off. Do I make sense? Now, I say this to encourage you not to try to belittle anybody, but we lived in the first house 2 years. We lived with my mother-in-law, I want to say between 4 and 6 months, no more than that. And then we lived in the trailer for 4 years. So that's 6 years. Let's say that's 6.5 years. It took us 6.5 years to get back where we was at, because when we lived in the trailer, the money that we was paying, it helped us to get back established. So some people think, just like the Bible, when you read the Bible and people flip the pages, they think that the story is happening the next day and the next day. But actuality, some of the stuff that you read in there, it takes years for stuff to come to pass. But you just gotta stick it out. And if you do stick it out, you'll reap the rewards in the end. Now, for the people that, that's because this message is not for everybody, but the people that heed to what I'm saying and come up with a game plan, or the people that's already saying, well, I already bought my house. Well, coming up, I'll share with you on how to pay your house off. I'll share with you first step, if you want to pay your house off and knock a 30-year mortgage and knock 10 years off, and you don't have to pay anything extra. I can tell you how to do that. And the second thing is paying one extra payment a year. I can show you how to pay your house off from 10 to 12 years. And it doesn't matter how much that your house costs. The same system works the same way. If somebody got a house for $100,000 or somebody got a house for $500,000, the system that I'm gonna give you, it works out the same way. It's no different. So until then, I hope that I encourage somebody and let them know you can do better. Thank you. Until next time.